Welcome, yo-yo throwing flamingos, to Geek Salad Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike, and you can actually see me this time.
Yes, exactly. Mike bought himself a new camera.
I did.
Huzzah. So, yeah, we are back. We are talking more about the follies of the Walt Disney Company in terms of whether or not it was a good idea, whether or not it paid off. And tonight, as you can tell from the title that you just clicked, we are talking about Fantasia 2000.
Yep.
Now, Mike, I know this is the first time you've ever seen this.
It is.
I saw it in the theater.
I'm not surprised.
IMAX theater. I actually went when they did the full wide release in the summer of 2000.
Right, yeah. And I'm not surprised because I do know how much you love the original Fantasia.
Yeah, I love Fantasia.
Yeah,
but
I found it rather boring, at least when I first saw it.
Yeah.
And I still think it's. I'm hoping for more, but whatever.
Yeah, it's more. I mean, Fantasia, the original Fantasia, is more of a visual feat than it is anything else.
Yes, it was very much an experimental.
Yes. So having put an additional 60 years in between the original and this one, where animation has gotten better, and I will admit, the one thing that I was truly impressed with watching the original Fantasia for the first time was the synchronization. Music to hand-drawn animation.
Yeah.
Not so much with this one, mainly because it has been pioneered already.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that was kind of something that struck me, is that some of them matches the beat for music and it's fantastic, and there's others where it's not really experimental. It's more of just they're showing an animated short with music played over it. There's no real not really a lot of connection, really.
Well, and I think that, like, Bette Midler said it best. The Steadfast Tin Soldier was one that they had been waiting to do for the original.
Yeah.
And it never happened. Because they couldn't find the right piece of music for it. Now, again, it doesn't synchronize. It just simply underscores.
Yeah.
It underscores the mini movie that we're watching. If I'm being honest, I feel like with this one, fortunately, the one thing I never felt with this is that it was a cash grab. Primarily because this was Walt's intent to continue making films throughout and inserting them in. So you could go see Fantasia a year later after seeing the original Fantasia, and it would be a completely different sequence of music.
And I will also say that not only was it not intended as a cash grab, it was clearly not a cash grab.
No.
This one was a bomb.
Right. It was. And it's one of those things that, like, I can understand where their minds were in terms of thinking that this would have been a good idea, because the video cassette internet sold so well that it would, it was like, this is a no-brainer. We could do another one of these, and we have kind of the ideas in place. I mean, this did take like 8 years.
Yeah.
In overall production.
I actually, I think they started looking at it in like 1990.
Yeah.
And
around the 91 is when they released the VHS for the original Fantasia.
Yeah.
And I know Eric Goldberg he is instrumental in this, and he is probably done more work than any individual.
And he even shows up on it. And honestly, his segment, the flamingos.
Oh yeah, the piano concerto.
Yeah, that honestly is no, not piano concerto. Piano concerto was the Steadfast Tin Soldier.
Oh, okay.
That one was the Carnival of the Animals.
Oh yes, sorry.
And that is one of my favorites in this one. It's just
a lot of fun. It evokes.
Yeah, it's short and fun.
Yeah, it does what it needs to do. It evokes where it needs to evoke.
And it does match up with the music.
Yeah. But it syncs. I mean, it syncs up with that, but it also syncs up with the intention. It's very much Dance of the Hours. It's very much that type of
Yeah.
that type of film. Personally, there are quite a few in here that I absolutely loved. In terms of the shorts, The Pines of Rome, I loved. I loved Rhapsody in Blue.
Well, yeah,
Especially,
Rhapsody in Blue. I do love that one a lot.
not only do I love it for its music, because it is my favorite piece of Gershwin, and it's funny because right now I'm assistant directing a Gershwin show, and it's like my favorite song is the one song that doesn't have any lyrics in it. But the Al Hirschfeld design, that was fantastic, and there's a lot of different inspirations that are in that that piece.
And I love how it, for the most part, it actually does sync up a lot with the beats of the music.
Yeah,
but it also does tell like kind of multiple like intertwined stories without losing any of them. They all have the same kind of impact, and the way they kind of come together at the end is fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I love that one. Obviously, Sorcerer's Apprentice. I mean, this ties into that intention that it was supposed to be a traveling roadshow where you would see some familiar stuff on there. Pomp and Circumstances. I mean, I loved the story that they were trying to tell because it's very much the Disney of the 90s era telling that story and not the 40s, or actually in this case the 30s telling that story.
If I'm honest, out of the 8, for one, it's weird that they did 8 segments here and 8 segments in the original Fantasia. Yet the original Fantasia is like about an hour longer.
Practically, longer. I think we figured that the original Fantasia is the longest Disney animated release.
I believe so.
Yeah. And this one coming, I was shocked looking at this. Hour 16 minutes. What?
Yeah.
So what?
I will say, like, for me, if you include the Sorcerer's Apprentice, I really enjoyed about maybe half of them. The other half was like,
I mean, I felt like Symphony Number 5 was what it was. It was trying to introduce. It was the opening. It was trying to introduce us to the same type of thing that they did with Beethoven before.
Yeah.
In the original, honestly, the Steadfast Tin Soldier, which is their only completely CG'd piece in this, it just it is what it is.
It's a fine story. The Pines of Rome, it's flying whales. I didn't get it. It's just flying whales.
I liked it because I felt like it just like the music, it is soaring music, and I thought that was it was very stunning visually to watch. What wasn't stunningly visually to watch were their eyes.
Yeah,
their eyes were all still hand drawn. The bodies of the whales were all CG generated. Their eyes were not, and you could tell that they're kind of sitting on two different planes. And I got to say, the Firebird Suite is gorgeous.
Yeah. Yes, the Firebird Suite, definitely. I love that one. That felt like their homage to my favorite segment from the original Fantasia, Night on Bald Mountain.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, and just like the animation of the sprite and the fire spirit.
Yeah.
And I'm personally, my head canon that the elk is Bambi, but whatever.
Could be. But just, the ability to make like even the ash rise up and turn into things was I mean, this, you cannot fault the animation in that piece at all. In all honesty, this was, I mean, as it stands, it's perfectly serviceable. I don't think it's a must watch unless you're an absolute completist.
yeah, again, it's one of those blank spots for me for my Disney viewing, and I'm glad to have watched it. And
Hmm.
it's one where certain ones, like those segments I do enjoy, I
Yeah,
would absolutely watch again. I just don't know if I was going to watch the whole movie, I'd probably skip a few.
yeah. Or I mean, I think it'd be kind of cool if you could mix and match,
Oh, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, if the
especially
Disney
with
Plus that gave you an option.
yeah, because there are on the because on our first Christmas together, Autumn gave me the DVD set, which was Fantasia, Fantasia 2000, and the bonus disc, which is all the behind the scenes stuff. But they
Oh,
actually have certain musical pieces that ended up just getting used as shorts, which, not as visually stunning. I mean, Claire de Lune is a gorgeous piece of music, but it's kind of a boring piece of animation.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. It's honestly, it's in my top five pieces of classical music of all
yeah,
time. But yeah, it deserved a more interesting piece of animation to go with it.
nah.
It's fine.
Um, so there's that. Now, the overall presentation, how did it go? I texted you saying I felt like this was a film in the International Pavilion of Epcot.
Yeah,
The way
it's
that all of the celebrities are brought in, and it's almost like you're in that 360 room, and here's Bette Midler, and here's Quincy Jones, and Quincy Jones is going to tell you a story before they start like doing the
yeah. I it felt like they were trying too hard to just make people interested in between the music.
yeah.
And I mean, honestly, if they had just been like just introductions by who was James Levine, I would have been perfectly
Yeah.
happy with that.
Yeah. It's actually Levine. I actually looked him
Oh,
up.
oh wow.
It
Okay.
is actually pronounced Levine.
And don't get me wrong, I like Quincy. I like Quincy Jones. I liked his
Mhm.
intro. I honestly, I got a little giggle out of James L. Jones. It's like, what would happen if we gave flamingos a yo-yo? What? I got a chuckle
Yeah.
out of that. Steve Martin. I love Steve Martin. I didn't care that he was in this.
You know what? Steve Martin was doing his cruise line material.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Steve Martin a bit, but did
Yeah.
not need him here. I bet
Yeah. Penn
Midler.
and Teller. I mean, I understand the whole thing with Penn and Teller. It's funny too because I think I said the last time I really saw Penn and Teller as Penn and Teller, and not just like Penn Jillette doing whatever it is he does now.
Yeah.
Um, but like the stuff with Bette Midler was nice. The stuff with Angela Lansbury was fantastic. It's always good
Oh
seeing
yeah, no, it's
her.
Angela.
I mean, she's Disney royalty, so
Yeah,
why not?
yeah,
But the overall, like even the feel of
yeah,
the symphony hall
yeah,
really gave me serious Disneyland vibes.
yeah. I mean, you could very much tell that the whole thing was done in front of a gigantic green screen.
Oh yeah,
It and I mean, I think half of them were filmed in half of their segments were filmed in like L.A. So half of them were filmed in New York, or I think a couple in Boston.
yeah,
They just went all over the place. It's just throw down a green sheet, film you, done. Okay, we're done.
yep,
Yeah,
exactly. And they didn't do so much with the orchestra in this, like in
yeah,
terms of like a highlight. They didn't really highlight the orchestra, and I think that might just be because they didn't shoot in one place. This is just the
yeah,
Philadelphia Symphony Orchestra. This is all over.
yeah,
So showing I mean, I can understand showing those inconsistencies. Um, so
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think that this is a tough one to rate because I'm yawning. It's
Well, thanks a lot,
again,
buddy.
yeah. 2000 was a rough year for Disney
Yeah, that was
animation.
also Dinosaur.
Yeah. Oh god, I always forget Dinosaur was 2000, but
Yeah.
Emperor's New Groove was also 2000,
Yeah.
which not a commercial hit, but is now one of their most revered classics.
One of the more revered comedies, I would say.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's not. It's definitely not. It doesn't hang up in the musicals. There's
Yeah.
like legitimately 2 musical numbers in the entire thing.
Yeah. And one of them sung
Um.
by um
Tom Jones.
Tom Jones.
Yeah. I mean, again, this is fun. It's inoffensive. While the gamble, I don't feel paid off. I don't know how it did, like in terms of DVD sales. I know. You could buy this separately. You didn't have to buy that box set.
Yeah.
I friggin' wanted that box set. I knew how much I wanted that box set. So,
I mean, box office and budget of 80 to 85 million.
Yep.
Which even adjusted for, I looked up the budget for the original Fantasia and adjusted for inflation, and it only came to about 50. So they bumped up the budget big time for this, and the box office was only 90.
Yeah. Part of the thing with that also is that this was originally shot for IMAX.
Yeah.
So they were getting agreements from IMAX distributors that were ironclad. They had to sign it in order to show it, and some refused. And in one case in California, they actually built a theater at the cost of $4 million, did their run, and then demolished the thing.
That
bucks.
Yeah, I'm sure in that case Eisner was like, remember when Disney was forcing people to get their Fantasound system? We're going to do the same thing. Guess what? It didn't work in the 1930s either.
Not only that, but you and I had, I texted you that little thing I saw on IMDb. Eisner wanted the pomp and circumstances to be this big, like, mass wedding, almost like the Unification Church style wedding. Of all the Disney princesses and princesses, and they were all pregnant, and the animators shot him down, and I can only imagine the looks on their face when they were told that is his idea, and they're all just like, he can go straight to hell.
Yeah. I will say Eisner was constantly on board for this one. The reason it took him like 8 to 10 years to make this is, guess who was not a fan of this project?
Frank Wells. No, Katzenberg.
Katzenberg. Yep.
Yeah.
Katzenberg was slamming shut the doors on this one over and over until finally Eisner shit canned him out.
Right.
And after that, unfortunately, that was also when Frank Wells was dead. So then Eisner was like, "Okay, I've got no more restraints on me. Let's do whatever we want." And no, bad.
Yeah. So anyway, that is Fantasia 2000.
Yeah.
I'd love to know what your thoughts are on this one. You can leave that polite comment below. If you haven't seen it, again, this is the runtime on this is not prohibitive.
No.
An hour and 16 minutes is crazy short. That's like barely over Dumbo length.
Oh yeah. And honestly, if you're watching on Disney Plus like I did, they try to cut you out of the trailers. Out of the credits. So really, it's only about an hour and 12.
Right, exactly. Oh yeah, because they're recommending Fantasia.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you've seen this one now. Go back and watch the masterpiece. So yeah, leave that polite comment below.
I really wish they'd let you
thumbs up, subscribe.
I really wish they'd let you choose this.
Yes. You can also find us on the socials. We are Geek Salad Podcast on Facebook and at Geek Salad Radio on Blue Sky. Mike and I also host a little podcast called Geek Salad, which hang out. Because in roughly about 10-ish minutes or so, we are going to be doing our picks for who should appear in and voice the next series of cameo characters in any subsequent Mario movie.
Yeah. Unless you're watching this in replay, in which case...
That's already happened. You can go back and watch the replay of that afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, that's great. And next week we've got another movie to review, which will be
another. What the hell were they thinking?
Yep, exactly. So anyway, until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth, be nerdful, and again, if you are watching us live, hang on the channel, refresh. You will see that live feed. Join us in the chat, and we will see you then.
Bye-bye.
That's a wrap.